Imagine this. Inside your Spring Boot project, you have multiple configuration value like app.name, app.version, app.owner, app.security.jwt.secret, app.security.jwt.expire. Now tell me honestly, will you write 5 different value annotations for everything? That quickly becomes messy in real projects. And this is exactly why experienced developers prefer at the rate configuration properties. So, today let's understand what is configuration properties, why we use configuration properties, how it works internally in Spring Boot, and what is property binding inside it. And then the final one is relaxed binding in Spring Boot, which is most important in context of interview. First, let's understand the problem. Suppose inside application.yaml, we have configuration like this. Now imagine reading all these values using at the rate value annotations. Let's say like this, we have 50 configurations or 100 configurations or multiple microservices, then this becomes difficult to maintain. That's where at the rate configuration properties comes into picture. Now let's understand the solution. Instead of reading these values one by one, at the rate configuration properties maps complete grouped configuration directly into Java class automatically. For example, we have defined field like this, and we have added at the rate configuration properties annotation, and then we given a prefix as app. Now Spring Boot automatically maps app.name to name, app.version to version, app.owner to owner likewise, without writing multiple at the rate value notation, and also it is cleaner, scalable, and seems professional. Now let's understand why developers prefer this approach in real projects. The first advantage is cleaner code. Instead of multiple scattered at the rate value annotations, all related config stay inside one dedicated config class. Second one is type safety. Suppose this expiry should be integer in Java object, but in our configuration file, it is given as a string. But Spring automatically converts value into proper data type. So if I run the application, you will see here in configuration file expiry value given as a string, but in our Java object, the value is defined as integer. And I just run the application, you will see here this expiry value got printed exactly as like integer. So Spring automatically converts value into proper data types, which is much safer than manual handling. Third advantage is perfect nested configurations. If you see this configuration file, it has app as a parent key, and then we have name, version, owner, and security. Inside security, we have JWT. Inside JWT, we have secret and expiry. We can even create nested Java classes for this nested structure, which is very common in enterprise project and microservices. So if you see here, I created one security class. Inside security, I have defined JWT, and inside JWT, I have given secret and expiry. And if you see the value that it got printed, it says it clearly printed name is equal to IntelliGuru version 1.0, owner is Balkrishna, under security it printed JWT, secret is equal to my secret, and expiry is equal to 3600. So which means we don't have to write a separate or specific at the rate value annotations for each field. We can create a nested Java object for this structure. Next advantage is easy maintenance. If tomorrow front-end team changes 100 configs, you only manage one config class, not 100 at the rate value annotations everywhere. So that's why developer prefer using at the rate configuration properties instead of at the rate value in real projects. Now let's understand something very important internally. How does Spring Boot map all these values automatically? Internally, when Spring Boot app starts, it loads application.yaml or application.properties file. Then Spring's binder mechanism reads at the rate configuration properties annotation, and then Spring searches all properties starting with prefix app in configuration file. After that, Spring automatically binds matching values to Java object fields. For example, app.name will be mapped to the name field, app.version will be mapped to the version field. And this process is called as property binding. One more amazing thing in Spring Boot is Spring Boot also support something called relax binding, meaning even if configuration name is given as user dash name or user underscore name and Java field is as username, Spring still maps it correctly and automatically. It can intelligently match user dash name, user underscore name, username, even uppercase values internally. That's why configuration properties feels extremely powerful in real projects. Now, one more important thing is configuration properties works best with application.yaml. Why? Because YAML naturally support hierarchy and nesting. For example, if you see this application.yaml content, it has a nested structure. This structure maps very cleanly into nested Java classes. That's why many developers prefer YAML plus configuration properties together. Now let's do a comparison quickly between @value and @configuration properties. @value can be suitable or it fit for small or simple values, while configuration properties is used for group or large configurations. @value is suitable for a small project, but in large projects, microservices or production systems, configuration properties is usually the preferred approach. Now one final important thing. This topic is very common in Spring Boot interviews. Interviewers often ask, why would you choose configuration properties over @value annotation? And now you know the answer. It's a clean code, type safety, nested configs, scalability, and better maintainability. So remember this forever. @value reads one value, while configuration properties maps complete configuration into Java object automatically. That's why experienced Spring Boot developers heavily use it in real projects. So this is what about configuration properties. If you find this concept helpful, please like and subscribe for more upcoming Spring Boot concepts.